people get more confident in social situations and other areas of life. And I do so much more as well. I spent a crazy amount of time trying to overcome social anxiety. I would go to YouTube, watch videos from different influencers, creators, buy this program, this product, this course, which always promised to be a solution to this long-standing challenge. I spent 8 years doing this, feeling pretty much the same, maybe some mild results, but still having crazy levels of social anxiety. When I got coaching, so I paid for one-to-one coaching for quite a number of years with a world-class coach on YouTube who sadly passed away back end of last year. Changed my life personally. Since changing my life, I built my own coaching business completely from scratch and overcame the things that have been bothering me for a very, very, very long time. And I realized about these toxic online growth loops that people are stuck in. So I thought I would talk about 5 big ones today. And I've made some notes on my pad. And if you come onto the live stream or you watch this video afterwards and want to ask me questions, just go ahead. I'm very much an open book. Nothing to hide. No marketing, no BS, no trickery. Just doing what actually works. The honest path, which might take a bit longer than quick fixes, but things that really work in the real world. The first one, the first toxic growth loop, I would call it trigger chasing. This is quite popular at the moment. I used to do it before getting coaching. It's very, very, very courageous and brave, but it isn't the best path. And this is what people are doing. They're purposely putting themselves into situations and getting themselves triggered, bringing up this strong emotional response. They're releasing those emotions from their system through techniques like meditation, body shaking, somatic processing, and they're repeating the process. So it looks something like take an action, get triggered, release the energy from that trigger, and repeat. So I wrote some sort of pointers here. So people are deliberately seeking emotionally painful situations to toughen up. And I did that before getting coaching, spent a year doing that. Some course called Transformation Mastery that I bought. Minimal difference for me personally. I'm not saying it didn't help out other people, but talking from my experience. People are digging up wounds, refacing traumas without properly integrating that. And they're addicted to feeling something intense. They think if it's not suffering, it means that I'm not growing. This isn't true at all. We do grow through challenges, but we don't need to chase pain. We don't need to act from a place of self-punishment. If you're on the right path, you're courageously being yourself, you're building a better life for yourself, you're on your purpose, you're going to naturally face the challenges that you're supposed to face when you're ready to face them. So it's not about avoiding fear and avoiding triggers. I'm not saying that at all, but deliberately going out and trying to get triggered, this is silly. I tried deliberately facing triggers, wasn't the best path, because ultimately it comes from a place of self-punishment. You don't enjoy the process of growing, so you're less likely to stick to it on a long-term basis. But if you're on the true path of personal growth, which I'll explain more and more throughout this live stream so that becomes clearer and clearer, you're naturally going to face triggers because you're going to be pushing your comfort zone, being your best self and living your best life. You can release them when you're facing them. properly integrate them as well. And you're never on a path of self-punishment. You're enjoying life whilst making progress. Because ultimately, what is the right path to be on? Well, you want to be happy, actually living life, having a blast as best as you can, and also growing at the same time. If you're climbing a mountain, the mountain of personal growth, you don't want to make it so grueling that your life becomes consumed by climbing and there's no fun. You want to enjoy the climb. And I always believe in starting with the end in mind. Begin as you mean to go on. Set the pattern and tone right now for later on. Don't procrastinate being happy. Happiness procrastination. I'll do the self-punishment bit and then be happy. The carrot of peace being dangled in front of you and happiness, that's not the right way to go about it. Start being happy now. Start enjoying your life now whilst growing at the same time. That's the long-term path, so start with that now. The second path is looking for overnight fixes and the dopamine hustle. So I wrote down the kind of core belief and mindset that people have which are on this path. In my opinion, if I just find the right mindset, the right product, the right routine, I'm going to be perfect by tomorrow. People are looking for a quick fix and magic bullet. And there are techniques out there that do have some merit and do work in some situations. But real transformation is not about becoming a box of tricks, and no one technique, mindset, routine by itself with nothing else is going to completely take you from A all the way through to Z. Some signs that you're on this path. If you're basically constantly watching techniques on YouTube and you're going from one technique to solve your problems to the next technique, you're going from one supposed guru to the next supposed guru. Another sign that you're on this path, compulsive watching of motivational content without aligned action taking. So maybe you're watching David Goggin videos, you see him running on the treadmill, doing all these endurance challenges, you're feeling hyped, you're feeling motivated, but then you do nothing. There's no aligned action that follows on from this. If you're on this path, it's a sign you're looking for overnight fixes, dopamine, rather than the long-term real growth, real transformational results. The other sign that you're on this path, expecting fast transformation with minimal discomfort. Now, I'm not saying to go out there and chase pain, of course, but what I'm saying is that there is going to be a level of suffering and discomfort involved in transformation. Just like if you was climbing up a mountain, there's going to be some discomfort and sometimes where you're pushing yourself. The way that my mentor broke this down, which helped me out, he said that there's two kinds of suffering, Phil. There's the good suffering and there's the bad suffering. Now, if you do nothing in life, you don't take action on your goals, if you sit in your bedroom, just watch YouTube and cartoons, eat Cheetos. If you do that, there's going to be an automatic suffering which comes with this. Probably you'll be infused with anxiety. You'll feel lethargic, demotivated, dispirited, low self-esteem, low confidence. You're not going to be buzzing in life. Then there's the good suffering. The good suffering is the moments where you face your fear, but it's something that you actually want to do. I want to speak to this person, but I'm nervous to do so, but I'm going to do it anyway. When you go to the gym and you're not in the mood, I don't feel like training today. It's cloudy outside, it's too hot, it's too cold. I'm just not in the mood, and you don't take action. And you take action, in spite of that, that's the good suffering. So the suffering is the inner resistance you feel to doing the things that are right for you, that are going to actually help you out in life. So there is always a discomfort, and you have to get comfortable feeling uncomfortable. If you really want to grow and change, it does take courage. It isn't overnight. It's just the same if you imagine a guy that wanted to build this Greek god physique in the gym, looking for shortcuts, quick fixes. No quick fix and shortcut comes without a cost. There's always a cost to a quick fix and a shortcut. Usually, you're the victim and you pay that cost. But if someone really wants to achieve this, Greek god physique, for example, it's going to take a lot of discipline and hard work. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of patience. This guy or this girl going to have to keep going to the gym consistently on a regular basis, get the diet right, the sleep, the lifestyle. It's going to take a lot. Is it achievable? Yes. Will it take a lot? Yes. Not overnight. And a quick fix isn't going to get someone there. Another trap that people fall into. Then I've put a message about real transformation. Real transformation is layered and personal. Something that I always find crazy is that every single person lives such different lives. We all live different lives. There's so many nuances. This is why we have conversations, because life isn't as simple as just speaking in catchphrases and general terms. There's specific situations that are completely unique and nuanced, and personal transformation is highly individual. So it's about becoming someone new, really your true self, through aligned action taking, lifestyle changes, and belief changes over time. I've changed my life completely, but it did take me time. It wasn't overnight. When I was in high school, college, I had cripplingly high levels of social anxiety. I was self-harming. That's the kind of mental state I was in. And also because of challenges with parents and an upbringing, my nervous system, my body had so much anxiety and stress that it affected my liver, and my skin turned yellow. So I spent years and years with bright yellow skin because my emotional mental state was so off key, was so damaged and so hurt. This is why transformation was so personal to me. It was simply something that I had to do. Been to the low places, the dark places, but come through them, come out the other side. It did take time. My journey is not going to be the same as your journey. There's going to be overlaps and similarities for sure. There's going to be areas where you relate to me and some areas where you don't, because everyone's on their own journey. Everyone's life history, genetic makeup is different. The context is different. So therefore, your transformational journey is going to be a bit different than other people's. There's general truths. For sure, there's some universal principles, but it is going to be a personal journey. The next trap, I guess you could call it, that I wrote down is intellectual hoarding. And this is the core belief. So if I understand myself more, then I'll change. And here are some signs that you're falling prey to this toxic growth loop. Endless self-awareness psychology. You're learning all about the shadow self, the repressed parts of you. You're understanding your own psychology, but just intellectually understanding it. Deep insights, really, really deep, intellectual, spiritual, emotional insights without aligned action taking, lifestyle, personal changes. Confusing insight with transformation. That's also a key sign that you're stuck in this intellectual hoarding growth loop. I've definitely met people who've been in this category over the years doing coaching. And this is what I wrote down, which I think most people will probably agree with as pretty much the truth. You don't become powerful by overanalyzing yourself. I've even met people that have been through a lot of therapy, but still feel pretty much the same. They went through a process of understanding exactly why they are the way they are. And guess what? They succeeded in that process. They did understand why they are the way they are, but things are still the same for them. So you grow by living differently. Insight is merely a starting point, but action and embodiment turns it into freedom. So if you actually live what you believe, you're living the results, you're then going to get the results. But if you're just intellectualizing stuff, logically understanding it, then it goes no further. All you've done is gained insight and logical understanding, but no transformation has taken place. Going back to that health and fitness, physique building, gym analogy, it's a guy that's consumed all the YouTube content, understands everything about the science of how to, break down muscle fibers, have them grow back stronger, knows all about the diet, sleep, every little bit of detail, but isn't actually going to the gym, isn't actually putting the work in. The honest hard work is going to get you the results, not intellectual hoarding. And you'd be surprised how little you have to know to really transform. I've learned more things as I've gone on in coaching, being a coach, but I got great results before deeply understanding all the different ideas in behavioral psychology, personal transformation. You want to get more confident with people, start being honest. Start really connecting with people. Does getting fit and healthy improve your confidence with people? Yeah, 100%. Does facing your social fears get you more confident with people? Yeah, absolutely. Those things do work. Of course, there's value in understanding and insight, but not just for the sake of it. Only when it's particularly important, you're trying to overcome something and it's relevant to that thing. So then I'll move on to the next track that I wrote down on my notes. Hypermasculine growth, alpha growth, for lack of better terms. And this is the core idea. The core idea, people that follow this path, they think that emotions are weak and you have to either dominate or be dominated. They live in this dog-eat-dog, highly competitive world where they're not allowed to be a human and feel emotions. Here are some signs that someone's stuck in this particular toxic growth loop. If shaming of vulnerability is involved. In terms of sort of psychology and upbringing, that kind of falls into an abusive category of emotional enmeshment. Shaming vulnerability, it's not a good thing. Another sign that someone's stuck in this growth loop, obsessive focus on external status, money, cars, physique, perceived power, but from physique from that place of hyper-masculine competitive growth. Another sign of this, suppressing natural emotions for grind mode, hustle mode. Now, to contradict myself, is it true that you can't go by emotions if you want to be successful? Yes, it is. Because we feel a whole variety of different emotions. You can't only work when you're feeling confident and at your best. You have to turn up regardless of the state that you're in. So it's true that you can't go by your emotions if you want to be successful. But it's also true that you're allowed to have emotions and acknowledge them and be present with them. You don't have to suppress them. You are a human and it is okay. So what I wrote down here, power comes from integration, not suppression. Being grounded, emotionally intelligent, and connected, this makes you a force. Grounded, emotionally intelligent, and connected. Not becoming some kind of machine, some sort of robot. Building a bot to face life. This is silly, doesn't hold up to reality. It's just not how people are. What helped me out massively in my journey when I was practicing being more honest with people is just true connection and talking with emotions. It's okay to sometimes feel sad, to sometimes go through challenges, to sometimes feel angry, sometimes feel flat, sometimes feel bored. You're a human. You're supposed to go through the whole spectrum of human emotions. This is completely normal. It's not about pretending that it doesn't exist. And actually, the person that can integrate their emotions is actually less affected by their emotions and more centered than the person that is suppressing them, suppressing their emotions. It's like an insult and attack to yourself every time you do that. And it's just learning how to communicate with emotions present in a socially intelligent way where you're honoring yourself and your emotions, but you're also making it calibrated and fitted to that situation that you're in. Not letting emotions be an excuse to stop you from taking action, but also allowing emotions to be present as part of your normal human journey. The next thing that I wrote down, which sort of builds on this, even though it's a different toxic growth loop, this is the spiritual bypass or positive vibes only. When people take it a bit too far and when they make it divorced from reality. I like positive vibes. I never give people negative vibes, of course. But some people take it to an extreme where they're avoiding the difficult parts of reality. And the general core belief of someone trapped in this negative, toxic growth loop is if I feel something negative, I'm doing something wrong. That's what they tend to believe. And here are the signs of someone who is stuck in this. Avoiding emotional discomfort completely. Not risking feeling rejected, down, left out, hurt, angry. In some ways similar to the hypermasculine growth, except completely avoiding discomfort emotionally. Living in fantasy ideals. This doesn't mean you can't achieve what you set your mind to. Of course you can, within reason, of course. Still being optimistic and positive. But fantasy ideals are where someone's avoiding real world issues that they're going to have to face on their journey. One fantasy ideal could be that you're going to grow and achieve your goals without ever going through a challenge, discomfort, setback, heartbreak, temporary failure, not aligned with reality. Another sign that someone's stuck in this, shaming others for not being high vibe enough. Shaming other people in general is never good. And what I wrote down as a healthier path to be on is someone stuck in this. If you're stuck in this, true spirituality and growth, in my opinion, they mean holding space for your full humanity, not floating above it, not trying to avoid the reality. Wholeness, it does include darkness, and healing isn't always linear or light. So, in general, overall in my life, I'm in an amazing place. I am loving my life. I am loving each day. That doesn't mean that there's never challenges. I'm always feeling amazing, 10 out of 10. That's BS. That isn't true. It doesn't apply to anybody that I know ever. So, for example, recently went back to my parents' house in Manchester for a family gathering, was there for a couple of days. Lots of parts of me enjoyed it, but I have challenges with one parent, mainly now my dad, although I had challenges with both parents growing up. Can definitely be a toxic person, very, very, very negative, very, very, very draining, critical, constantly abrasive. And I'd be lying if I said that didn't trigger me, bring up some stuff from the past that I'm now processing, releasing from my body. So that was a bit painful. That made me feel sad. But overall, I'm happy. Things are great. So I'm happy overall. But there is times I'm going through bits of pain here, bits of challenges there. And in the past, I was overwhelmed with challenges, but I'm not anymore. So I definitely am a lot lighter. But of course, I'm going to have days where I just feel flat, feel bored, feel more scared than normal, more anxious. I am a human. But in general, I'm in a good place. I'm centered and I can turn up regardless of how I feel and integrate my emotions. So this is a nice summary message that I wrote to kind of bring together what I believe the best path for personal growth is that I've found so far. And this is what I teach the people. So you don't need to push harder, suffer more, or level up overnight. You need a path that respects your truth, your nervous system, and long-term joy. That's what real growth looks like, and that's what I coach. So this path, it will involve facing challenges, but not just for the sake of it. Of course, I encourage people to get exposure therapy, to push their comfort zone, to become less nervous in situations. But it has to be aligned to the person's real goals, has to fit with their true vision. And the goal is to get the fear out of the way that's stopping you from being your best self, challenge limiting beliefs, get you on the path that's right for you, have you stay on this path, build the confidence up. And it isn't overnight. It's not a quick fix, but you will feel better over time. And maybe the growth journey looks something like this. There's going to be downs as well as ups, but overall, in general, there's an upward trajectory. And the way I see it is best to leave no stone unturned and to focus on different areas of life at the same time. For example, health and fitness. Being on a health and fitness journey at the same time as growing, the two go hand in hand, mutually feed off each other. You're going to see gains in one, which is going to give you this transferable confidence to make gains in the other. It's going to keep you motivated. And really, it is going to take a lot of effort. It's not easy. If it was easy, you'd already know the solution, you'd already have the results you're looking for. It's obviously a challenge. But something that I think most people intuitively know. If they could beat that battle against themselves, against their own inner resistance, do the things which they know would work, getting fit and healthy, pushing the comfort zone socially, maybe public speaking, being really honest with people, truly connecting. If you was beating the inner resistance on a regular, consistent basis, really being yourself, and you kept this up for a decent amount of time, 6 months to a year, 2 years, you're going to get transformational results, and your life is going to look different in 1 year, 2 years time than it does look right now. If you're someone who is currently looking for coaching, you want to be snapped out of the wrong path and put into a path that works, I do a free first coaching session. You're very welcome to email me and try this out. No pressure. Also, I'm going to start putting on virtual events in addition to my well-established in-person events. The virtual events are going to be coming soon, end of this month. I will make sure I've done my first one by then. Then they're going to be once a week. I'm going to start with them being free to attend, so you can come onto the events. A great chance to meet new people, make friends, face different social fears in a safe space. Ask questions, get help with your own challenges. So you're very welcome to contact me if you're interested in one of these two things. And in my experience, being part of those crucial conversations is what really helps people out. It's much better than just passively consuming content. This is why I'm an events guy, an in-person guy, generally speaking. And this is why I offer the free one-to-one coaching session, as well as free virtual events, which are going to come soon. Because I know that you're going to get so much more value from this than you would from passively consuming content, because real-world experience is going to change people. Not reading books and not watching YouTube videos, unless they get so inspired that they make changes off the back of them. So hope that you got value from this live stream, and enjoy the rest of your day.